everyone, welcome back to another video. It's me, Nicole. Before we get started, I would really like to thank everyone who watched my video for the first time. Last time I checked, there were about 60 views, which is, I think, pretty cool for a first shot. So thank you. And thank you to everyone, including Chrissy, Sen, Sarah, and anyone else who gave me feedback. I know the audio quality wasn't great, so hopefully this is better. We might have some humming because the room I'm in has a loud heater, but you shouldn't have to turn it out so loud because I have a decent microphone right now. Yay! So today, sorry, I'm just looking at my hair. Yeah. But today I thought I would just talk about resiliency, I guess, and cynicism and how we overcome cynicism to keep pursuing change. So as I mentioned last week, in case anyone hasn't seen that video, which you can find the link below if you want to check it out, I am a student in the Master of Social Work program, and at my class last week, we had a guest speaker who had an indigenous background and had gone through a lot of things she shouldn't have had to go through due to her ethnicity and the way the world was in the 80s, though we can argue it's still pretty messed up right now, but that's another chat. But she said something really important. I mean, everything she said was important, but this stuck with me for the whole week after. And it was that it's really easy to become cynical, but we can't let the cynicism take us over, because if we do, we let them, quote unquote, win. And that really hit home to me because I'm someone who, if anyone knows me, is usually really positive, really like, anything impossible, let's change the world, bring it on. And I see people around me, even in social work, who I know were once similar to me and have now become quite cynical, very very unsure of how the work they are doing is going to have impact and whether it is actually going to have an impact. And therefore they have started giving up or saying, I'm not going to even try this because what's the point? And when I see that, quite honestly, it scares the hell out of me because I don't want to become that person. So when this guest speaker says this comment, an actual question that I and some other callers had was, okay, that's great to hear. How do we avoid it? How do we fight that cynicism? And that answer was not as simple as we all hoped, although I think we all deep down knew it wouldn't be anyway. So I thought, okay, this is something I care about. Let's take it to YouTube and have a discussion. So what do you guys think? Do you think we are becoming a cynical society? And if we are, do you think that's legitimate? Do you think there's anything wrong with that? I think we have become cynical, and it is causing us to accept things that we shouldn't accept, or to not question things. So the whole situation, for example, of the US presidency, I'd like to hope that if people had been more hopeful and critical, we would have had a different outcome. I think a lot of the people who would not consider themselves radical or change agents became kind of apathetic and didn't vote, and here we are today. So, but how do we avoid that? How do we not become that person? And this speaker really came up with a good thought to that, which was healing. We need to let ourselves heal if we're going to overcome cynicism. And to me, that made a lot of sense, because I think we become cynical when we become hurt or betrayed. When we have tried something over and over and over to pursue change, and we either don't see it, or the situation becomes worse, and we just are so tired of that disappointment and pain and the energy that it takes to pursue that change and see no results, that we're just like, forget it, what's the point? I'm gonna go home and put Netflix on and just live in blissful ignorance. But if we can heal and let ourselves become kind of reborn, kind of a phoenix out of the ashes, and we feel that fire, I think we could overcome some of the cynicism. But also, I think we have a responsibility to notice those cynical thoughts creeping up, because they are really insidious and tiny at first. But if we can notice them, catch them, and then challenge them, be like, okay, why am I thinking this? What knowledge or experience do I have that combats this thought and proves it incorrect? And then challenge ourselves to be like, okay, it's not true, I can create change, even if it's small, and just keep the battle going. I think that's a responsibility we have. As well as I find it helpful to notice the really small successes. So maybe you're trying to implement a new initiative at your work and some of it got shut down, but a little piece of it got accepted and you can move ahead with that one step. To me, that's a success, especially if you're in an organization that maybe has trouble adapting to change or can be afraid of change. It's a great step. So, noticing that this video is going long and you guys probably have lots of other things to do with your day, I'm going to leave it with that, but I would really like you to comment below about your thoughts on cynicism and if you think it's something we need to be mindful of and battle, so to say. How do we do that? How do we take care of ourselves enough to make sure we don't become cynical? So please post your thoughts on all that below, and I can't wait to see what you say. For next week, I'm going to probably do a video on the play I'm going to see tomorrow. It's called A&R Angels, and it's playing in Toronto. And it features Ben Kolowitz, the one and only, who is the lead singer of Billy Talent, as well as the lead singer of Broken Social Scene, who I can't think of the name of right now. Obviously you can tell which band I like more. But it's about these two angels who are trying to save people through the power of music. I think it sounds like a great show, and I can't wait to share my thoughts about it with all of you. So until next time, thanks for watching. Feel free to leave your questions and feedback below and let me know if you have any ideas for future videos. Thanks everyone, have a great week, and please take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.